You may recognize their names from the hit film The Blind Side, but Sean sat down with the real-life Sean and Leanne Toohey, who took in a homeless teenager and helped him become a football star at Ole Miss, and now an offensive tackle for the Baltimore Ravens. They are the authors of the book In a Heartbeat, sharing the power of cheerful giving. Take a look.
I got to tell you, I was inspired by The Blind Side. I love the movie. I love Sandra Bullock. She apparently, now in the short time I've gotten to know you, she nailed you. Yeah. She got you down pretty well. Were you happy with how she?
So happy. SJ was the best. He was the only one in the movie, and after being on the set for 3 or 4 days, he came home. He said, "Wow, it's scary. There's 2 of y'all running around."
Is that right? Well, she actually was quoted as saying, "For the longest time, I kept saying no to the role because I didn't know how to play this woman. You know, here she comes from Memphis, this white Christian Republican lady whose bark and voice is so strong. I passed judgment on the Southern Christian ladies. I would just roll my eyes at them." Did you read that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, apparently you inspired her. Well, you got to her.
We were lucky that the roulette wheel stopped on Sandy because she was just the best. She wanted to get it right, authentic, keep true to the story.
Just to remind everybody, and if you didn't see this movie, you got to go see the movie, all right, and read the book. But so why don't you walk us from the very beginning and how this all happened?
Well, I mean, we were driving down the street, we were going to eat, and Michael was walking down the road, and he was in inappropriate clothing for the time of the year, in a place he shouldn't have been, at a time he shouldn't have been there, and Sean looked at me and said, "That's the new boy in Collins's class that we've been talking about." And I said, "Really? What do you think he's doing here the day before Thanksgiving, you know, early in the morning, school's out?" And I said, "Turn around and let's see what he's doing here."
And you said to him, "Do you have any place to stay?"
And he said, "No." No.
And you said, "Get in the car."
Kind of, sort of, yeah.
Kind of, sort of, yeah. I mean, you know, look, in this day and age, you got to admit that's not the normal reaction. People are, you know, you have kids at your house. You're afraid you're bringing somebody into your family. You don't know who you're bringing into your house and setting up the nice couch and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, but you know what? It's time we all start taking risks. It's time we get out of our comfort zone. It's time that we, you know, turn around and look to your left, look to your right. How do you know there's not a Michael Orr right next to you?
All right, but that's the thing. And this kid turned out to be amazing. And he's a member of your family. Yeah. And it turned out well. But it can maybe not turn out well. What if he turns out to be a psychopath?
Well, what if your tires in your car don't work? And what if
good answer.
What if the bridge isn't built correctly? I mean, there's a lot of what ifs. It didn't take long when you looked in Michael's eyes to know, A, that there was need, and B, there's a wonderful kid in there. You described him correctly. Michael's incredibly intelligent. He's incredibly gifted, obviously athletically talented, but he was all that before we ever met him. We didn't screw him up. All we really did was give him a chance to be who he was supposed to become, and that's why we wrote the book In a Heartbeat. Everything switched that fast on that decision. Our lives would have been completely different.
That's what's inspiring about the book and about the movie. This is about you. And you, but you first.
Yeah, I'm glad you included me. Usually, I'm the one over there taking pictures of y'all.
But did you really drive into his old neighborhood at that story? And was it that bad? I mean, was that an accurate depiction in the movie?
You know, John Lee Hancock, who was the writer and director, really dialed the movie down. I mean, the car wreck was much more horrific. The scenes in the hood were more horrific. But you know, you got to do what you got to do.
You did. So that scene, I mean, it broke my heart when he sits down there and, you know.
But you know how many kids every day in this country that happens to? And we're worried about, you know, I've been around today, you know, people are talking about the wrong things. We need to start talking about the kids that go to bed hungry in this country every night, and that don't have a bed to sleep in, and don't have a mom and dad, and that age out of child care. Pick up In a Heartbeat.
Listen,
read it.
You have more guts than I do, because I don't know. I have young children in my house. I don't know if I would have the courage to step out and invite a stranger into my house and to live with us, knowing that he could pose a risk to my family. I don't know if I would have that courage.
See, I disagree with that. You traveled all over the country chasing your dream. Those were risks everywhere you went. Our risk was way less than picking our family up and moving them. We invited a kid who had a huge heart and a huge need, and allowed us to give. I mean, the subtitle of our book is probably obviously the title's In a Heartbeat because it switched that fast, but the subtitle, the power of cheerful giving, that's where people go, how did it work? And that's kind of where you're headed. And what we're saying is, we had the easy part. because we got to have Christmas every day.
Yeah.
He had the hard part. He had to figure out how to live with this crazy family. I mean, but we got the gift of giving every day, and that was the only explanation.
There was a
that
lot of
works.
touching scenes in there. One that really kind of inspired me is when you all sat around. Was it Thanksgiving or Christmas? I think it was Thanksgiving dinner. Okay,
yes.
Thanksgiving dinner, and you all hold hands. I mean, that really happened?
Absolutely.
Really?
The only time we ate at that table was with Michael.
Yeah, because you wanted to watch TV.
Every time.
Every single time.
Well, we were playing state every
Was that an
Thanksgiving.
accurate depiction of you?
Absolutely. I was very, very upset that she made us sit at that table.
And you were rolling your eyes a whole bunch of times in the movie.
They all were. They like to watch football on Thanksgiving.
Well, what do you say? My family says you have truth Tourette's syndrome.
That's a Sandy statement. She started that.
Yeah. Meaning?
You know, that I'm just real honest about everything. But, you know...
Yeah, I've noticed that in other interviews you've given.
It gets you back. I mean, it's the right thing to do. I'm just not one...
Were you like this your whole life, this effervescent and outspoken and just...
Well, I mean, we're back to talking about the book. Y'all are back to criticizing,
Excuse me, I am not criticizing Leanne. Will you stop
I'm
it?
between two Shawns here. Y'all
This is
killing
nice.
me.
Exactly. This is the first time you've ever
The
been
2
ganged up
hours
on here. This is good. I like this.
But we're still outmanned.
Yeah,
No question about it.
you have your hands full. Well, what's the latest with Michael? How's he
Great.
doing?
We were with him yesterday, last night. He's doing great. He has to be back to training camp on July 28th. The Ravens are going to do great this year. We can't wait.
And you go to most of the games?
Every game.
Every game.
Every
That's
game.
so exciting.
Every game.
Well, it's an inspiring story. You are a very special couple. And I think you have a wonderful message here. If folks haven't seen the movie or the book,
In a heartbeat.
In a heartbeat.
There you go.
well, listen, you're an inspiration.
Thank
Honestly,
you.
God bless you.
Thanks
Good to see
for
you. Thank you for all you've done.
Thank you very
Appreciate
much.
you being with
We
us.
appreciate
Thank you.
that.
Thanks.